Hey YouTube, coming at you with another Great League Remix team. And while this team doesn't make a ton of sense, it does have the potential to do well. So it is, I'll put the shadow in now. It was Shadow, a Sandslash, WIGGLYTUFF, and Moltres. And basically, I started with the a Sandslash because I had seen a million times Pokemon that were weak to it. There was a decent amount of flyers, there was a decent amount of things weak to ground. So the Powder Snow, Ice Punch, Shadow Drill Run works very, very well with this meta. You're double weak to fire and double weak to fighting. So the first thing I was thinking of is more of ground fighters. So I put in Galarian Moltres as a flyer. And then I was like, okay, I need sort of something else. And I have gone up against WIGGLYTUFF multiple times now. And it just plays so differently with the Charm, Swift, Icy Wind since Charm got the rework that it felt safe at times. So like even in bad matchups, even where Charm, Swift, and Icy Wind were resisted, it felt like it still chipped way more. And I remember playing the other way when I had a Sandslash against a WIGGLYTUFF, and the WIGGLYTUFF against a Steel basically took it to like the deep red. So I felt like Wiggly could act pretty well in the safe swap position despite it being weak overall, like weak to certain things. You are double weak to fire. Now I wasn't seeing a lot of fire, and then I saw 2 Magcargos on the lead, and I'm like, which freaking content creator put out Magcargo on the lead? Because I just saw 2 of them when I had not seen like 1 for the entire week. So that was very frustrating. You're really tough to fire. That one I safe swap into Moltres. So here we go. Terrible lead. Should you go into a fairy straight when you see a dark? Probably not. But as you can see here, not a ton of answers. Some of the like most pure poison Pokemon are just kind of bad now. Like Toxapex would be killer, but it is not as strong anymore. Clodsire is in this meta, but you do have Icy Wind, which you can hit super effective against. So again, you're gonna have potential bad matches, but you can chip your way through some of these. Get to the Swift here, and now they will have to shield, or else I'm going to take Switch here. And they do shield, but now they're down 2 shields. I do get that Charm through. It would take out. I don't think there's a point of shielding. So I do let it go. Going to come in Moltres, where Sucker Punch is resisted, but I don't need to worry about a crunch landing on Sandslash because that would chip quite a lot. I could take an Aqua Tail here, and at the same time getting 2 Sucker Punches makes me closer to the fly. So if the Greninja comes in, which it does, I'm at the fly. Now, nice catch on the Clodsire there. But then they just gave up Switch. I will have alignment here. I do need to worry about the Earthquake a bit, but I'm got to move. Drill Run, Ice Punch, both super effective. Drill Run, better damage per energy, so I'm going with that. And it is enough to take out, so that chip of fly does help there. They're going to have to throw. I believe you can live 1 Hydro, so I'm not going to shield up anything because I don't want them to like Night Slash boost. So there is the move. I'm out of move, and we did CMP, and while it is resisted, I am a Shadow Sandslash, and they are Greninja. Greninja is just pretty glassy, so I believe that even a resisted Ice Punch is probably going to take out from here, or put him like 1 HP. Yeah, and it does take out. Greninja is just too glassy that you can chip. Tinkatong. Saw a ton of Tinkatongs. You resist all the fairy moves. Bulldoze is super effective, but so is Drill Run. So this is kind of like an evenish matchup. Bulldoze is not really a good move, and while it is super effective, it's not going to chip a ton. Although Sandslash is a little glassy here. But I do have a Drill Run, which will hit pretty hard. They will get to the second Bulldoze. They're going to outpace. Now the question is it worth shielding? I think so, because they're in Ice Punch range that I can basically just go a few more Powder Snows. Fairy Wind's resisted, so I'm not going to be taken out there. Get a bunch of extra energy, and then potential alignment in the back could be very valuable. But they decide to double shield that, and then, yeah, I'm still thinking I have energy. Both of these moves have general coverage, and Hello Pharaoh. Both these moves have coverage, and then I can align in the back if I want. Now, this is super effective, so I may just try and force them to throw some energy here. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine chipping this a bit, forcing them to throw energy. What is the best answer here? Going with the Wiggly. Wiggly is not sneaky bulky, but it definitely can take some charge moves. So I've never worried about me even one shot with Wiggly unless it's like maybe even like sludge bombs and stuff you can live. But otherwise, you're probably not one-shotting Wiggly much. So get that Swift off. They come back in here with the Tink for some reason, just get charmed down. And then that reason is because they have a Dragon Breath Guillotine in the back. But unfortunately for them, giving me those 2 extra charms just means I am now at an Icy Wind. Not that it matters when you have a Dark Pokemon in the back anyway. So I have a Fairy and a Dark for a Ghost Dragon, which means they are not getting out of that no matter almost what they had. Mega Go. So going straight into Galarian Moltres, because at least Sucker Punch is neutral. Charm is resisted, and you're double weak to fire with Sandslash. Again, Charm being resisted, you can still chip your way through that. They are staying in, which means I'm going to go for the Brave Bird. Really, I don't care if it doesn't kick out. I just need to chip this. But grab a shield instead. At least they're dumping energy. I don't think there's a reason to shield. They're probably going to get another move off because resistant charms are going to take down. So obviously this is a very, very tough team to go against fires. They get into their Samurott. I do take it out here. And depending on how fast they switch, I may want to switch. I'm really hoping they just get out immediately into their back Pokemon. Or this. Microgo, that's fine. Take that. Hopefully get to an Icy Wind and get off before they get to a move. Just to lower that Rock Tomb a bit. Maybe I can charm my way through this. Not surprising they let it go. But if I remember, it's like a water Pokemon in the back that will resist ice anyways. Yeah, so they did overheat to take me down, but now they have a Feraligatr, which is resisting the Powder Snows and spamming Hydro Cannons at the same pace. So, no shot here. Ferret, surprisingly evenish matchup. Sucker Punch just adds up, and Swift, even though it's resisted, does get same type attack bonus on it. So it's still going to chip, which you're going to see here. I do win CMP. But I can. I don't know. Oh, I don't know what my son is just screaming there. But anyways, I do win CMP. But as you can see, I'm in the yellow. So if I did not throw, they could potentially take me out with Swift. And we did CMP. At this point, maybe it's worth it because I can come Moltres. Yeah, worth letting it go. Because I can come Moltres where the Sucker Punch is resisted. I mean, it's resisted on the Wigglytuff too. But I just find that the energy is way more valuable on Galarian Moltres. And this is why I'm at a Brave Bird. It will be neutral. They're half bug. So I just want to chip this an insane amount. And I do, which is huge. I assume I'll take any move here. I do have 2 shields, so I might want to start using them. Yeah. I was about to say, could I take a move? Yes. When you have 2 shields and they only have 1, and you only got 1.5 Pokemon left, I think it just makes sense to shield that. And they have their own Wigglytuff. So I'm going to lower this attack immediately so that these Charms and Swift or Icy Wind are much lower. Even though Swift is, I think, the better damage per energy move, I just think in a full health matchup, you just lower the Pokemon's attack if you can, and the damage per damage is not as different. Fret comes in and does snipe a Swift, so I have to shield that because Wiggly has a little too much health for what is a dark Pokemon in the back, and I want to, again, lower its attack so that these Charms and Swifts aren't as much on this Wiggly, that I can charm a bit more, but also not going to do a ton to the Moltres. So I do get a move. I don't know if it even matters because I have no idea how much energy I have on this Pokemon. I have no energy, so I should have just went for the extra charm there. But with that lowering of the attack, maybe it was worth it because the lowering of the attack on the actually I didn't lower the attack on the second one. I lowered it on the first one. But do live. Wiggly, again, can I use Wiggly to safe swap? Yeah, I think it's pretty okay. And look at that. The best answer is a Wigglytuff in itself. So I think what's really helping Wigglytuff actually have play in this meta is the banned list, right? One of the main fires banned is Talonflame, which is used a lot. And while not a ton of poisons are banned, there is a lot of Steel banned. There's Corviknight that's banned. There is Empoleon that's banned. And I'm sure there's others that I'm just forgetting. So between all those that are banned, Wigglytuff has actually a little more freedom to play in a safe swap role when I would otherwise never play it in a safe swap role. Quagsire comes back in. I can take a move. Ooh, it's a Mud Bomb, so I definitely could not have taken that. Plus I had a shield, so I just felt like it was worth it. And while I burnt one, and I know this is a Stone Edge, there's no point of throwing a Mud Bomb. I still don't shield it. I don't think it's worth it. I'm reading potentially something else, a weak 2 Sandslash in the back. Maybe not, though. Maybe they just didn't care about alignment because they have a second answer. Wiggly comes in, and we'll get taken out here. What's in the back? Yeah, it is a Pelipper. And another one of these where wing attacks are resisted, and then they can only go Weather Ball. I should win this matchup. But then I was thinking to myself, I should let the Weather Ball go because I don't want them to bait a Weather Ball. And although Hurricane is resisted, I don't think I could live a Hurricane. So I let that move go, and then I'm at 2 moves to take it out. Magcargo comes in again. Magcargo, again, I don't know what content creator put it out, but it is definitely a thorn in my side here. Rock Tomb is super effective, so I have to shield. Going up to 8 versus 10 here and throwing the move before they get to their move. I believe this one does land. And while it is resisted and they do take me out here and I lose a shield and switch, I don't think that matters too much. Like, I needed to get this out as much as I could, and that was the best thing I can do. And now I have a Wigglytuff with some energy. It is a Lapras. So I'm just going to go Swift here, which is neutral, as opposed to Icy Wind, which is resisted. I can take a Sparkling Aria for sure. They've got to be close to 2 moves. So I'm shielding. Oh, I'm shielding a potential Skull Bash too. Because they are close to 2 moves. So that could, like, could I live a Sparkling Aria? Yes. Could I live a Skull Bash? A little closer. And they are now farming up again. So this may be the Skull Bash, which probably would take me out. It is a Skull Bash, and it does take me out. So now the resisted Powder Snows, very resisted Powder Snows, are not doing enough because they're already boosted to their defense, and it's double resisted. So I have to throw just to take this out. Now I'm down a shield. Oh, lordy. Airquinid, which is a bug. Water, which resists both charge moves. I'm just throwing just to see how much it actually does. Knowing that otherwise I am screwed. So I could not outmaneuver the Magcargo, which means you probably don't want to run this exact team. Dunsparce, or not Dunsparce, Dusknoir is a weird one. I do make a catch knowing that they probably go 1 and throw. I've mentioned this 1 and throw constantly. Most people coming out of a charge move will want to throw 1 fast move and then there's their charge move. It's half just a mental thing. There's no real rhyme or reason for it, but it just seems to be what a lot of people do. So just made that 1 and catch on Wigglytuff, which double resist normal. I do get hit with a Carbink. You know, Charm's neutral, Icy Wind was neutral, lowered its attack. Power Gem does chip, but lowering its attack. I'm going to bank that energy, and because I think that energy may be valuable later. So get to the draw in here. This will take out. They've already burnt 1 shield. Probably going to save the rest for Dusknoir and other Pokemon. They do take me down. And coming in with the Galarian Moltres, I got to respect that Dynamic Punch. I only have 1 Pokemon left and I don't know what's in the back. So I will shield up this Dynamic Punch. And Airquinid again, which you will see tomorrow. I believe there is a event coming up on Tuesday too. So I think what you're going to see tomorrow is my last team plus that event coverage. And then we will roll into Great League. You will notice not any submissions. I'm filming this on Saturday. I didn't check on Friday because I was in the office all the time. But I believe I checked late Thursday and I had no submissions from viewers. And I kind of mentioned this if you want me to showcase your battles, because I saw The good news is the Jungle Cup is on again later in the season, so I can replay some Jungle Cup teams that were submitted later last week. But I kind of mentioned this before. Like, I'm shooting this Saturday to go up Sunday, and I have another team that I'm running with that I want to showcase. Plus, there's an event coverage. So if you're sending me, especially limited cups, if it's Great League, fine, I can really use that at a later Great League time. But if it's a Great League remix where this is not going to be on again, that I need to showcase this week, if you're sending me your battles by like Saturday, it's probably too late. I've probably already got the videos done for the week. So if you want me to showcase your battles and you want to submit, like, the first 24, max 48 hours is when I'm going to need them. Or else I probably will not get to them. Just an FYI. So like I'll just go check now. I didn't have any the other day. But now I'm actually just curious to see if I do have any in here. I was at 7 before, and I am at 7 now. No, you guys just are not submitting this year. Like I saw, the last one I have is Z, who submits often. Thank you. But it is a Jungle Cup, and I can showcase him later in the Jungle Cup when it comes back. But yeah, Saturday, a Great League remix, which has the sort of playability of an open Great League. So people are probably playing, but just not submitting, which is fine. Like, you don't have to submit. I'm fine just showcasing my own teams. I'm surprised. Before, I used to have like submissions per week, and I can't tell whether that is now. I think it's like a combo of things. I think it's a combo of like people just aren't playing as much, and probably the channel suffering a little bit here. So Drapion against Sandslash, poison's resisted, crunch will hurt, and I am shielding up a potential crunch right away, even though there's the chance to lower my defense. I just thought, like, you're less likely to bait on the first one as opposed to the second one, so I thought it was worth it. Did chip the Lapras with the drill run. Still have some energy, but getting into the Wigglytuff to take the charge moves. It is a Skull Bash, so with that extra damage and with that boost defense, I felt like I just needed to throw this Swift immediately to try to check this out. But unfortunately, it does not take it out. But they come back in with the Drapion. I guess it's not a bad play where you can Poison Sting down, which is super effective, and then come out with energy for my Pokemon. But I am not going to allow you to throw a crunch on my Sandslash, so I'm going to come in what is otherwise a bad matchup here because Sucker Punch is resisted, but I'd rather take either an Aqua Tail here or just not have a crunch land on Sandslash. But basically both. So coming in here, once they throw two moves, I thought I could snipe. Did not expect them to have a third move here, but who's counting? Not me. Unfortunately for them, I did not snipe, and they come into Drifblim to a loaded Sandslash. So they shield up the first one, and I get to the second move, throwing it right away. So timing not optimal there, but just need to chip this. Sucker Punch down, have energy, have shield, have a win. So yeah, that's team 2582. Last team, as of right now, I'm at 2660. So a team I'm really running with. I really like the team. Pokemon that are not used a ton in the meta, but it's a very balanced team, and the two cover each other very, very well. So I will showcase that tomorrow morning for you guys, so you can maybe use it for the last day and a bit, or 2 days if you really want. And then we will, I think there's a Legends event or something. I know there's an event, I just did not know which one it was, but I will cover that in the afternoon. And then it is league turnover. And I believe since Master League is on this week that we are going back to just the Open, Great League, Ultra League, and Master League. But let me just confirm that. Yep, Great League, Ultra League, Master League. There are, after this week, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks left. We got ooh, that's a fun week. That one actually could be both. Great League and Halloween Cup Great League. Oh, okay, I get it. They have to do it during the Halloween week, but man, this timing sucks. This is so annoying. So it's Great League, Ultra League, Master League next week from the 21st to 28th. The rotation would then be Great League. So it has to be Great League. And Halloween is also on the 31st, so you have to do Halloween Cup. Both of those are going to be great leagues. So to have both of those during the same week sucks, especially when the next week is Ultra League and then a repeat Jungle Cup. So the Jungle Cup is repeating November 4th to 11th, which we just had. So it's very frustrating that they would just unfortunate alignment there. Then we have not a Master League, an all 3 weeks open, followed by the Championship Series, which is a great league with the Mega Master League. And then, oh my God. And then the last week, Master League and Ultra League are on, but the Great League is a Catch Cup Great League, which is brutal. So, yeah, you might want to try and hit Legend before the last week of the season if you can. Or if you have a lot of Pokemon that you have powered up since September 2nd here, then you should be okay. But if you do not, like you have a huge roster like me and you're not powering up a bunch of Pokemon, that last week is going to be real bad. But that last week is when we're going to get news about the next season, which is definitely where I can start covering videos there. Anyways, that is it. I hope you had a good weekend. Very sad today. Blue Jays manager, absolutely terrible decision that everyone saw coming, was a terrible decision. So this is baseball. The Blue Jays were tied in the series 2-2. They were up 2-1 in the game. There's 2 innings left. They just need 6 outs. They're coming into the heart of the order, which means like the best players on Seattle. And this is where you're supposed to use your best relievers. And the manager decided to use the reliever who has been struggling the most in the past couple months. And not only struggling the most in the past couple months, just should not be in high leverage situations like that. Proceeded to come in, gave up a home run on his first one, walked the next 2 batters. Then they gave up a grand slam and lost 6-2, and now they're down 3-2. So absolutely terrible management by the manager. Borderline fireable offense when you're in the last round before the championship. Anyways, I watched that late last night. Very depressing. Very upsetting. Anyways, today is the game 6, so hopefully it goes better today. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.